Can you feel it? That subtle shifting within your body as the years pass by. The way your energy doesn't quite return as quickly as it once did. The mornings when getting out of bed requires just a little more convincing than it used to. If you're nodding right now, if something deep inside you is whispering, yes, then I need you to pay very close attention to what I'm about to share with you. I remember the first time my grandmother, Elizabeth, placed a small glass jar in my hands. The golden liquid inside caught the late evening light streaming through her kitchen window, tiny bubbles suspended like amber fossils around what looked like small white pearls. This, she said with the quiet confidence that only comes from decades of personal experience, is what kept your grandfather and me healthy enough to dance on our 50th anniversary. What she handed me wasn't some exotic concoction from a hidden apothecary. It wasn't a prescription that cost hundreds of dollars or required insurance approval. It was simply honey and garlic, two ingredients found in practically every kitchen across America. Two humble foods that, when combined in the right way and consumed at the right time, create what generations before us understood as a quiet, powerful nighttime miracle. You see, we've become a society obsessed with complexity. We've been conditioned to believe that effective health solutions must come in complicated packages with unpronounceable ingredients and hefty price tags. We chase after the newest supplement, the latest superfood from some remote rainforest, or the trending detox program celebrities swear by. Yet, all along, some of the most profound healing compounds have been sitting in our kitchen cabinets, their powers forgotten or dismissed as old wives' tales. I want you to close your eyes for a moment and imagine your grandparents or great-grandparents. Think about the lives they lived, often harder physically than ours, with fewer medical interventions available, yet many remained vibrant well into their older years. What did they know that we've forgotten? What daily rituals kept them resilient, in ways that seem increasingly rare today? Across cultures, from the mountains of Appalachia to the villages of Greece, from traditional Chinese medicine to Native American healing practices, this specific combination appears with remarkable consistency, not as a desperate treatment for ailments already manifested, but as a daily ritual of prevention and vitality maintenance. A simple act of self-care performed night after night, as natural as brushing teeth or washing one's face. As Maria Jackson from Tennessee recently told me after 3 months of this nightly ritual, I didn't expect much, honestly, but now I notice. My seasonal allergies barely bothered me this spring. My sleep is deeper, and my husband says I haven't caught the colds he's brought home from work. It's so strange to think something this simple could make such a difference. Let me be absolutely clear about what this is and isn't. This isn't a miracle cure. It isn't going to erase decades of poor health choices overnight or replace necessary medical care. What I'm sharing is a gentle yet profound daily practice, a returning to wisdom that our ancestors understood intuitively, a practice particularly meaningful for those of us who have crossed the threshold of 40 and have begun to feel the subtle shifts that come with each passing year. The beauty lies in its simplicity. 1 clove of garlic, minced or crushed too. Release its medicinal compounds. 1 tablespoon of raw, unfiltered honey, the kind that sometimes crystallizes and comes from local bees when possible. Combined and consumed shortly before sleep, allowing these potent natural compounds to work within your body during the hours your system focuses on repair and regeneration. What happens during those sleeping hours is what we'll explore together. How this simple ritual supports your immune system, nurtures heart health, promotes deeper sleep, calms stress responses, heals digestive issues, rejuvenates skin from within, and helps you breathe easier. These aren't empty promises. They're the biological mechanisms understood by both traditional healing wisdom and modern nutritional science. Think of this practice not as taking medicine, but as giving your body the specific tools it needs exactly when it can use them most effectively. It's the difference between frantically trying to repair a broken system and thoughtfully maintaining one that functions with resilience and harmony. As your eyes scan these words, you might be feeling a mixture of curiosity and skepticism. That's natural and healthy. I felt the same when I first held that little jar in my grandmother's kitchen. But I invite you to approach this with an open mind and, more importantly, an awareness of your own body's responses. Because ultimately, the most convincing evidence won't come from my words or even scientific studies. It will come from the subtle shifts you begin to notice in your own well-being. Tonight, as you stand in your kitchen preparing this simple mixture for the first time, know that you're joining a lineage of self-care that spans continents and generations. You're reclaiming a piece of wisdom nearly lost in our rush toward complexity, and you're beginning a journey that, night by night, may gradually transform not just your health, but your relationship with the profound healing intelligence that nature has provided all along. The ancient Greek physician Hippocrates once said, "Let food be thy medicine, and medicine be thy food." Perhaps nowhere is this wisdom more elegantly expressed than in the nightly ritual we're about to explore together, one that could change not just your nights, but the quality of each waking day that follows. Close your eyes and picture this. It's 3:17 a.m. The world outside your window is hushed, streetlights casting long shadows across silent neighborhoods. While you dream, within the intricate landscape of your body, something remarkable is happening. This is the sacred time when your immune system, that miraculous defender against everything from common colds to more serious threats, shifts into its highest gear. During these quiet hours, your body isn't just resting, it's actively repairing, rebuilding, and fortifying. Research shows that certain immune functions peak during deep sleep, particularly between midnight and 4 a.m. This is when your body produces and releases cytokines, crucial signaling proteins that help coordinate immune responses. It's when natural killer cells, your personal security force against infected or cancerous cells, become most active. It's when your bone marrow accelerates its production of immune cells that will patrol your body in the coming days. Now, imagine enhancing this natural process with precisely timed support. This is where our garlic and honey ritual reveals its first profound benefit. Sarah Morrison, a kindergarten teacher from Colorado, described her experience. After 20 years surrounded by sniffling 5-year-olds, I caught everything that came through my classroom door. 3 months into this nightly ritual, my colleagues were asking what had changed. For the first time, I made it through winter without missing a single day of school. The science behind this transformation begins with a lysine, garlic's most potent medicinal compound. When you crush or mince a clove of garlic and let it sit for about 10 minutes before combining it with honey, you initiate a chemical reaction that maximizes allicin production. Allicin is perhaps nature's most impressive broad-spectrum antimicrobial, showing activity against bacteria, viruses, fungi, and parasites. Dr. Michael Henderson, an immunologist who has studied traditional remedies for decades, explains, allicin essentially functions as a natural antibiotic, but with an important distinction. Pathogens don't develop resistance to it the way they do to pharmaceutical antibiotics. This is because allicin works through multiple mechanisms simultaneously, making it nearly impossible for microbes to adapt. When allicin enters your bloodstream, it creates what some researchers have called a protective sweep, moving through your circulatory system and lungs, reducing the ability of pathogens to establish themselves in vulnerable tissues. One study found that regular garlic consumption reduced the incidence of common colds by 63%, and when colds did occur, their duration was shortened by 70%. But garlic is only half of our dynamic duo. Raw honey, particularly darker varieties, like buckwheat or manuka, contains a complex matrix of over 200 biological substances that complement and enhance garlic's effects. These include defensive peptides, enzymes like glucose oxidase, which produces pathogen-killing hydrogen peroxide, and various polyphenols with antiviral properties. More fascinating still is honey's action as a prebiotic, feeding the beneficial bacteria in your gut that we now know control roughly 70% of your immune function. These beneficial microbes, nourished by honey's unique carbohydrates, produce short-chain fatty acids that maintain the integrity of your intestinal lining, your body's critical first line of defense against invaders. Thomas Wright, a 58-year-old construction manager who had been plagued by recurring bronchial infections, shared, "My doctor kept prescribing antibiotics, which helped temporarily but left me vulnerable to the next infection. Since starting this nightly ritual 8 months ago, I haven't needed a single prescription. It's like my body finally has the resources to handle these challenges on its own." This speaks to perhaps the most profound aspect of this practice. It doesn't just fight existing threats. It gradually rebuilds your immune resilience from the foundation up. It's the difference between constantly battling fires and fireproofing your house. In Ayurvedic medicine, one of the world's oldest healing systems, this concept is called rasayana, practices that rejuvenate rather than merely treat. Garlic is classified as a powerful rasayana herb, believed to strengthen ojas, the subtle essence that governs immunity and vitality. When combined with honey, another rasayana substance, this effect is amplified, creating what Ayurvedic practitioners call synergistic potentiation. Traditional Chinese medicine offers a complementary perspective, describing this combination as simultaneously boosting defensive qi, protective energy, while expelling pathogens and toxins. Within this ancient framework, consuming these foods before sleep aligns perfectly with the body's natural rhythms, the time when preservation and restoration energies are strongest. These traditional understandings are increasingly validated by modern research. A 2019 study published in the Journal of Ethnopharmacology examined the effects of allicin on immune cell function and found significant enhancements in neutrophil activity. These are the first responders of your immune system, arriving quickly at sites of infection. Another study demonstrated how certain compounds in honey modulate cytokine production, helping to prevent the excessive inflammatory responses that characterize many chronic health conditions. What's particularly remarkable is how this combination works with your body's natural intelligence rather than overriding it. Unlike many modern interventions that force specific responses, garlic and honey provide resources that your immune system can allocate according to its needs, strengthening where necessary, calming where appropriate. For Jennifer Parker, a nurse practitioner who had struggled with recurrent sinus infections, this balanced approach made all the difference. As a medical professional, I was skeptical, but I was also tired of the cycle of antibiotics and infections. What amazed me wasn't just that the infection stopped, it was how I felt overall. My energy improved, my seasonal allergies diminished, and I stopped getting those afternoon crashes that had become normal for me. This speaks to another crucial aspect of immune function often overlooked in our culture: the energy cost of constant immune activation. Many of us walk around with low-grade chronic inflammation, our immune systems perpetually responding to food sensitivities, environmental toxins, and stress. This consumes enormous resources that could otherwise be directed toward optimal functioning, tissue repair, and vibrant energy production. The compounds in garlic and honey help resolve this hidden energy drain through multiple pathways. Allicin reduces inflammatory cytokines that can remain chronically elevated. Honey's polyphenols help neutralize free radicals that perpetuate inflammation. Together, they help restore appropriate immune dynamics, responsive when needed, at rest when appropriate. David Clark, a former collegiate athlete now in his 50s, described this effect vividly. "I had resigned myself to the aches and frequent illnesses that seem to come with getting older. What I've experienced since beginning, this ritual isn't just fewer colds, it's a resilience I thought was gone forever. Last month, when everyone at my office was taken down by a nasty flu, I felt the beginnings of it. that scratch in my throat, the fatigue, but my body rallied in a way it hasn't in years. 2 days of feeling slightly off, then back to normal. That simply didn't happen before. This resilience, this ability to encounter a challenge and overcome it efficiently, is perhaps the truest measure of immune health. Not the absence of all symptoms, which can actually indicate an under-responsive immune system, but the capacity to respond appropriately and return to balance quickly. As you prepare your garlic and honey tonight, visualize this elegant process, unfolding within you while you sleep. Imagine your immune cells receiving exactly what they need to function optimally. See your body's natural intelligence directing these resources precisely where they're needed most. Feel the quiet strengthening of your internal defenses, night after night, building a reservoir of resilience that serves you not just in times of acute challenge, but in the quality of your daily life. This isn't about never getting sick again. It's about developing the kind of robust immune foundation that supports vibrancy at any age. It's about aligning with, rather than fighting against, the wisdom of your body's design. And perhaps most importantly, it's about reclaiming a level of vitality that many have resigned themselves to leaving behind with youth. The night is indeed when healing happens most profoundly. By providing your body with these powerful natural compounds exactly when they can be utilized most effectively, you're not just supporting your immune system. You're honoring the intricate rhythms that have governed human health since long before we had the science to explain them. Place your hand over your heart right now. Feel that? That steady, faithful rhythm has been with you since before you took your first breath. By the time you finish reading this chapter, it will have beaten approximately 1,000 times. By this time next year, it will have pulsed over 40 million times. Never resting, never pausing. The tireless conductor of your life's symphony. Yet, for all its incredible capacity, your heart faces challenges unknown to previous generations. Our ancestors worried about many things, but they didn't contend with the particular brand of chronic stress that has become our constant companion. They didn't navigate endless digital notifications, 24-hour news cycles, processed food environments, or sedentary jobs that keep us hunched over keyboards. They didn't live with the unique cardiovascular burden created by our modern lifestyle. The statistics tell a sobering story. Heart disease remains America's leading killer, claiming one life every 36 seconds. And while we've made remarkable advances in emergency cardiac care, the rates of hypertension, atherosclerosis, and heart failure continue to rise, affecting younger and younger populations. This is where our evening ritual of garlic and honey reveals another dimension of its healing potential, one that works gently but persistently to nurture your heart's well-being night after night. Robert Edwards, a 62-year-old retired postal worker, shared his experience. My doctor had been watching my cholesterol and blood pressure creep up for years. After 6 months of this nightly ritual, with no other changes to my medication or lifestyle, my numbers improved enough that she asked what I'd been doing differently. When I told her, she was skeptical but said, "Well, something's working, so keep doing it." The science behind Robert's experience begins with garlic's remarkable effects on multiple aspects of cardiovascular health. Studies have consistently shown that regular garlic consumption can reduce total cholesterol by an average of 10–15%, with particularly strong effects on lowering LDL, the less desirable type of cholesterol. But the benefits extend far beyond cholesterol numbers. The sulfur compounds in garlic, especially allicin and its derivatives, help prevent the oxidation of cholesterol, which is actually the process that makes cholesterol problematic. Unoxidized cholesterol doesn't readily adhere to arterial walls, meaning less plaque formation and better circulatory health. Dr. Sarah Richardson, a cardiologist who integrates traditional remedies with conventional treatment, explains, "Think of allicin as a gentle internal scrub brush for your cardiovascular system. It gradually helps dissolve existing soft plaque while preventing new deposits from forming. This isn't a quick fix like some medications, but something that works with your body's natural healing mechanisms over time. This scrub brush effect is complemented by garlic's ability to make blood platelets less sticky, similar to the action of low-dose aspirin but without the potential side effects. This means better circulation, especially through the smallest vessels that nourish your heart muscle and brain tissue. There's also compelling evidence that garlic helps relax and dilate blood vessels, improving their flexibility and responsiveness. This vasodilatation effect can help lower blood pressure. Studies have shown reductions comparable to some first-line hypertension medications, particularly in people with mild to moderate elevation. While garlic works on the structural aspects of heart health, honey contributes its own cardiovascular benefits through different but complementary pathways. The antioxidants abundant in raw, unfiltered honey, particularly darker varieties, help neutralize free radicals that damage vessel linings and contribute to inflammation. These polyphenols and flavonoids also improve the function of endothelial cells that line your arteries, enhancing their ability to produce nitric oxide, a molecule crucial for vessel dilation and healthy blood flow. There's also fascinating research suggesting that certain components in honey may help regulate heart rhythm and protect cardiac tissue during times of reduced oxygen supply, what medical professionals call ischemic conditions. While not a replacement for medical care, these protective effects may provide an additional margin of cardiac resilience. Perhaps most interestingly, honey appears to moderate how the body processes sugars. Despite being a sweetener itself, studies suggest that the unique mixture of fructose, glucose, and bioactive compounds in honey produces a gentler glycemic response than refined sugars. This is significant because poor blood sugar regulation creates oxidative stress that accelerates arterial damage and dysfunction. When consumed together before sleep, the time when your cardiovascular system naturally undergoes its most intensive repair processes, these two foods create what some researchers have called a cardioprotective environment. While you dream, these compounds circulate through approximately 60,000 miles of blood vessels, delivering their benefits precisely when your body is most receptive to healing. In the mountains stretching between Bulgaria and Turkey, where some of the world's longest-lived communities reside, this combination has been a cornerstone of heart health for centuries. Village elders speak of it not as medicine, but as essential nourishment for the life center, their traditional understanding of the heart as both physical pump and emotional wellspring. This brings us to another crucial aspect of this practice, the connection between heart health and emotional well-being. Modern research has validated what many traditional systems long understood, that emotional stress directly impacts cardiovascular function, and conversely, that cardiovascular health influences emotional resilience. When your heart functions optimally, when circulation is smooth, when oxygen delivery is efficient, when the electrical signaling is harmonious, it creates a foundation for emotional equilibrium. Conversely, when these physical systems are compromised, it can manifest as anxiety, mood disturbances, and reduced stress tolerance. Caroline Wagner, a high school principal who began the garlic and honey ritual after a minor heart scare, describes this connection beautifully. I expected that my blood pressure might improve, which it did. What I didn't anticipate was the change in how I handled stress. The constant tightness in my chest that I'd attributed to a demanding job gradually dissolved. I still face the same challenges, but they don't impact me physically the way they once did. There's a buffer now, a space between what happens and how my body responds. This buffer, this physiological resilience, is perhaps one of the most precious but least quantifiable benefits of nurturing heart health. It's not just about adding years to life, but life to years. It's about maintaining the energy and emotional capacity to fully engage with what matters most to you. For Jack Thompson, a 72-year-old who feared his heart condition would prevent. Him from attending his granddaughter's destination wedding, this ritual became part of a comprehensive approach that helped him regain enough cardiovascular stability to make the journey. My cardiologist adjusted my medications, I improved my diet and started gentle exercise, and I faithfully took my garlic and honey each night. I can't say which element made the difference, but I know this. I danced with my granddaughter at her wedding. 3 years ago, I wouldn't have believed that possible. This story highlights an important point. The honey and garlic ritual isn't about replacing appropriate medical care. It's about supporting your body's innate healing mechanisms alongside whatever other care you may need. It's one piece of a larger commitment to nurturing the remarkable organ that sustains your every moment. Tonight, as you prepare your garlic and honey, take a moment to feel gratitude for this incredible muscle that has been beating faithfully since before you were born. Imagine the compounds from these healing foods entering your bloodstream, supporting and strengthening each chamber, valve, and vessel. Visualize your circulation becoming a bit smoother, your blood pressure finding a healthier balance, your heart tissue receiving optimal nourishment. With each night that passes, with each gentle dose of these supportive compounds, you're making a quiet investment in the organ that quite literally keeps you alive moment by moment. You're creating conditions that allow your heart to function not just adequately, but optimally, beating with the steady, quiet strength that is its natural state when given the support it needs. In a culture that often treats the heart as merely a mechanical pump, to be fixed only when it breaks down, this ritual represents a fundamentally different relationship with cardiac health. It's preventative rather than reactive, nurturing rather than intervening, honoring the heart's remarkable capacity for self-regulation and healing when provided with the right resources. Your heart and mind exist in constant conversation, each influencing the other in ways both subtle and profound. By supporting the physical heart, you create space for emotional peace. And in that peace lies a different quality of life, one where each heartbeat serves not just survival, but thriving.